coming through for, as the theme of the month here is I'm seeing that many of you are in a position regarding your current work situation right now. You might have signed on a contract for, to like end a work project on a certain date. So you're kind of like linked in or obligated to finish up the term of the contract. And I feel like currently the work situation might be a little bit more challenging than you initially thought, okay? It's not always a bad thing, but I wobbly, a little bit topsy-turvy. And so you're going to need to navigate this environment with a very strong sense of purpose, redefining what it is that you are trying to achieve, redefining your objectives, changing your objectives altogether, as well as getting, accepting help, accepting insights from other people. Okay. So that's the main thing. A lot of readjustment in the finance, in the work sector, also in the career sector. I do feel re-examination, recalibrating, redefining. Those are like the key words for this month. You're redefining your relationships. You're reassessing your work situation, recounting your money to see how much assets you have and, how much you can part ways with, as well as redefining what your career. I feel like some insights have come into the picture where I feel like a decision, a major decision concerning relationships, concerning work, has come through for the last 2 months. You might have, been in a work situation where you might have started a new job, and I feel that it's a little bit more challenging. And so I feel like this period, this sense of realization has come through for the past few months, and you are embodying this card here with the moon in the reverse. It's basically news coming to light, all the information being revealed. Whatever that has been kept from you, I feel that it's being brought to light so that you can re-examine it in its full, in realistic focus is also, the words that I'm hearing. So I feel like if in the past you might have been very hopeful, optimistic, and also a little bit idealistic about a specific new venture, I feel that the reality of it is settling in. It doesn't mean it can't work. It just means that we're going to have to, roll up our sleeves and get our hands dirty a little bit. And this might not be something that you anticipated. Let me talk about your financial situation as it links up with your work, also with your career. First of all, what I'm seeing is a lot of you are going through the monotonous work environment, the 9 to 5, the routine. It's like every day is the same, just different problems, different people. But I feel like every day is the same. So there's this sense of stability, but at the same time, it just feels like routine. It just feels like every day is the same repeat, okay? And I'm feeling that you're looking for a little bit more change. And I also feel in your present work environment, many of you are feeling almost as if you're not able to affect any change. It's almost as if the things that you say, people are not heeding your warning. People are not appreciating you for what you have to offer. And you feel as if your skills, the things that you're really proud of about yourself, your skills, being very patient, being very diligent, being very hardworking, you feel almost as if it's not appreciated by, your supervisor, by your coworkers. It's almost as if you might not also grasp a specific procedure, a specific concept in the work environment. And I feel like it's affecting your ability to do your job well. There might have also been many of you in a new position, so in a position of authority. So you might have recently gotten into a new position or new pay increase. And with the pay increase, they are expecting you, rather than just giving you a pay increase because you worked hard and you deserved it. I feel like your responsibilities are growing as a result of, the pay increase. And that doesn't seem to me like it's fair. But I feel like you are always welcoming the challenges that are coming through, like, new opportunities, new responsibilities. But I feel that it is also taking its toll on you because I'm sensing that you don't have the authority to override some of your higher ups' decisions. And as a result, you're doing some type of cleaning up after them. You're doing some type of revision of portfolios, revision of work procedures, revision of problems that have come through, and you're doing, the damage control. You're doing like the unraveling to see how you can fix things. So it seems as if other people have put you in a position where you have to, clean up something that happened before you came onto the job environment. And it can be a little bit frustrating. I feel that it is. It's almost like you have to play, follow up. You might not know how the situation got to where it was, or how it got to where it is right now, or what happened in the past. And I feel that in the process of unraveling, all these pieces and seeing out how, they everything transpired, you have to, contact other people. You have to get their version of the story. And a lot of the times the versions of the story conflict. And so you have to, get at the truth. And I feel that it's taking an emotional toll on you, because you're just like, I just want to do my job. I just want to, start clean. This is supposed to be a new job. It's supposed to be brand new. But I'm dealing with old issues that this job, this work environment never dealt with properly. So I feel like you might have gotten into a position where somebody quit abruptly, or somebody was like weaned out of that work environment very abruptly, and you're dealing with, the aftermath of it, the cleanup, the rebuilding, the reconstructing. So I feel like that's what's happening here. It's like whoever that was in that position before you, they didn't do a great job. And so you have to go in and fix it. And you not only have to fix it, you have to explain to people why that other person did it that way before. And you have your, speculations, right? You have your professional expertise. But at the same time, it seems almost as if I feel some of you are thinking, why did they do that? Why did they do it that way? There's a better way to do this. So I feel like your problem solving skills are going to be in high demand. But I feel like a lot of people will come to you for your problem solving skills. And it is, learn to say no, first of all. And it's also going to be, it's almost as if you're going to have a very heavy workload. Okay. And I'm seeing some of you too waiting on opportunities for new work. And I feel like it has been a few months. You are a little bit stressed out. Okay. So for those of you who are dealing with that, hang on just a little bit further. Okay. Or at least honestly expand outside of your geographical location, because I feel like that is what's needed. Okay. So I'm seeing like, extreme ends of the spectrum. One person having to getting a new job and having to do some cleanup. And then the other people might be looking for work. So in between jobs, looking for work. But I feel that most of you are coming into this month fully employed, but reassessing and readjusting your objectives in a work environment. I'm sensing as well, some of you might be in a work contract, and that's what I mentioned earlier too. A work contract that might have been signed in, needed to be done, was not done by the previous person. So I feel like you're just frustrated, okay? You're frustrated that you're not able to move ahead with your own responsibilities and to start things over that you can call your own. I'm seeing for some of you, there might be some large contracts that you're trying to land. And I feel like you might be working on a commission basis and you're trying to land this big, major portfolio, major contract. I feel like out of obligation, the person might go with a different contractor altogether. So out of just, loyalty ties. Even though they know that you and your company might be the best person for the job, I do sense that out of, loyalty ties, they might go with another company. And especially if you're with a smaller company, I feel like they're going with the more reputable, with the company with the bigger reputation. So that's another point of contention here in the work environment. In terms of your overall career track, I feel like you're in a situation right now where you feel like there's a lot of red tape. There's a lot of bureaucratic restrictions. There's also a lot of like constant follow-up, and you don't have the freedom to creatively do the projects the way that you want. There might be a lot of restrictions. There might be monetary, budgetary restrictions where, the money might not be there for you to implement it the way that you believe is the best possible way to give it the best outcome. So I'm seeing a lot of restrictions here with the Devil card. And this basically indicates a situation that is kind of unhealthy. Money is being squandered, or money is not being invested in a smart manner. And so, in the face of all of these obstacles that are imposed from the top down, from the chain of command, I feel that you feel powerless, like you're not able to change the environment for the better, even though even though you're, professional expertise, you have accumulated a lot of experience. People are just like not listening when you present your case, or when you make a statement about, what we should do as a unit. It seems almost as if it's falling on deaf ears. And so the way you're communicating, I don't feel there's anything wrong with that. It's just there are a lot of restrictions. It could be because of, loyalty ties. It could be because of office politics. It could be because of bureaucratic procedures or monetary restrictions. And that's why projects are not being pushed along in the way that you'd hope. And so if you are, contractually obligated to them, you're just a little bit frustrated right now. I feel this energy is going to get better. I feel the energy dissipating. It's going to it's going to be okay further down the line. Just for this month, be very, very patient with those around you. And if you encounter a roadblock in a specific, avenue, take a detour, go back to it at a later time. Okay, just go take a detour, work on something else rather than just pushing ahead, because I feel like you're encountering a lot of blockages here. So they're telling you to slow down a little bit, take a breather, and don't push for a specific agenda, because I feel like there's a lot of opposition. I feel it's going to get better. I'm seeing as well a lot of stressful energy for others of you, small minority, okay, in the work environment. And I feel like this has been kind of a problematic work environment where you know the best procedures and you're able to, show through experimentation, through your results, that this is the best way to do something. But the people higher up, they're fixed in their ways and they're not listening. Okay, so you might be in I'm seeing like teachers. I'm seeing a lot of teachers here. I'm seeing a lot of, I'm seeing like a lot of corporate managers and supervisors. And I'm also seeing a lot of people who might be in the public sector, government officials, civil servants, for example. And funding is limited and you're frustrated because you can't get the things that you need in order to do your projects. And I'm also seeing like, for example, if you are a teacher and you have a creative way to do some type of, to improve the teaching environment, I feel like people are so entrenched in their own sense of like, what has been tried and true, that they're not really experimenting. And so you might not get the proper support that you're getting in your environment in order to move ahead with projects. So I'm seeing a frustration, okay? And just for those who are unemployed too, I do sense like frustration coming through when it comes to, lack of opportunities that are made available to you. So you might have applied for a lot of work and waiting on outcomes, waiting on callbacks, waiting on interviews too. So that's one of the overwhelming energies that I'm sensing. I do hope it clears for you guys, okay? I know it's frustrating, and I do hope that it does clear up for you guys. Going back into the home environment, I feel as well, this is another thing related to work. I feel like you have to commute quite a ways to get to where you are working. So that's another, like it's eating up your free time. And it's also, you might be stuck in traffic, stop, go traffic. And I'm sensing as well that many of you are in an environment, in a housing environment, where you want to move to a better location. You want to move to a better apartment, a better house, and the like. And I feel like money might be a little bit tight right now that won't allow you to do that. So I feel like that's going to clear up. And, the end of June being a really big time where I feel this energy might just dissipate altogether and new opportunities will be coming through. Okay, so a little bit of frustration on the home as well. And when we get home from work, we want our home to be our haven, but it seems almost as if there might be noise pollution, there might be light pollution as well, where you're not getting adequate sleep. So I would just advise you, like don't carry this work energy home with you. And don't take out the frustration, especially in the home environment. Find healthy ways to vent, find healthy outlets for the frustration. So don't let it build up, okay? And I do sense as well, whatever you're dealing with, family, the family, especially siblings, and especially those of you who have siblings that are significantly older than you, I feel that they're going to provide you with some really valuable insights as to how you can alleviate or even handle the energy surrounding your work environment if that's what you're dealing with, okay? So there's a lot of good insights, healing, a proper sense of direction as well coming through from siblings, coming through not so much, I'm not seeing like mother or father, but I'm seeing, siblings, people that might be serving as a mentor to you. If you have siblings that are significantly older too, I feel like they can give you some very solid advice. In terms of your family environment, I feel like somebody's moving out, somebody's moving in. So if you live, let's just say if you live with a relationship partner, right, and you're also subleasing another, the room in the apartment or in the duplex or in the condominium or in the house, I feel like people are moving in and moving out. And so you're going to have to put up listing here to get additional roommates. And likewise, if you are a little bit older with children, I feel that they're going to be leaving the nest. And there's a little bit of, like if they're going off for college, for example, or if they're going off for work permanently, I do sense that you're going to be missing, that sense of family, that sense of even community, I feel. So there's a little bit of ebb and flow when it comes to your housing environment as well. And I do feel people moving out, people moving in. Just ride through this month. I feel that these energies will lift, and you're getting a lot of support here coming through from, family members, siblings, okay? And also your friendship house is really strong. I feel that whatever situation you're in where you are just getting a lot of just working, you're having trouble processing your feelings, or you're having trouble processing things you're having trouble understanding why. I feel that talking to your friends, they're going to give you some insights too. And I do sense as well, they're going to provide you with, some clear, objective truths that might be a little bit hard to swallow, but I feel that it's going to reveal a lot, possibly a different point of view that you hadn't considered. So I feel like you have some insights trying to come through here, okay, via other people to help you navigate some things that just boggles your mind. So I feel that's what's coming in here. It might come through like towards the end of the month though. So just sit tight with this work environment, okay? Things will alleviate. It's just the trial and tribulations of, starting new work, and the trials of tribulations of having to deal with other people. So I feel that you might need to just, hang in tight, okay? Hang in there. It's going to get better, okay, Taurus? In terms of the relationship sector, what we have here is the Seven of Pentacles. And the Seven of Pentacles is reassessing whether or not a relationship is still feasible, is viable, and sustainable. I feel like many of you are in a relationship right now with a person that you might have dated for a few months. So you might have, started dating each other, you really like each other, and you might have decided, okay, let's date each other exclusively. So that's what I'm sensing for many of you. And you're reassessing to see if the situation is viable. You're reassessing to see it's not good or bad, and it doesn't show me a specific direction where this is going, but I feel that you're taking stock. You're taking everything into account. You're taking this person's personality into account, how they act, how they behave, how they deal with stress, how they deal with, just life. And you're trying to see if you both are compatible. You're trying to see what are the probability of us going the long haul. So I feel like you have somebody in your life that you really like, and you are trying to figure out whether or not this is somebody that you can see yourself with long term. So once again, it is a very neutral energy with the Seven of Pentacles, but I feel like, the number seven is a very spiritual number. So I feel that there is a spiritual connection between you and another person. You might be very different, but even then there's still this common thread of like having a very strong emotional connection with another person. For others of you in business partnerships, you and another person working together, via business contract, business partnerships, I'm sensing as well you're doing the same thing. So you're trying to figure out if you have signed a contract with them, you're kind of like obligated to them, and I feel like that's what's happening here. You're reassessing. And you're reassessing whether or not, all the money that's coming in, whether or not the profits are being divided fairly between you and the partner. And you're trying to reassess whether or not it's financially wise for you to continue in this business partnership and pursue this business venture, or whether or not it's a wiser idea for you to go back to the regular 9 to 5 and continue with going back to the family situation. Okay, we have here the Chariot in the reverse and the Devil. I feel like for some of you, so let me just say, I'm seeing a lot of Taurian people, and this is Sun, Moon, or Rising, okay? Because this is going to apply for all. I feel like some of you might have grown up in with mother and fathers that might have stayed together for security, for financial security. They might have stayed together for the kids, even though the mother and the father figure were not happy in the relationship. So I'm seeing like people who might have been unhappily married staying together because of for financial reasons, or even for the kids' sake, which is very honorable. But I feel that because there was that lack of compatibility, there was also that lack of warmth between parents. I feel that it might also be a little bit challenging for you guys to show warmth and show affection to your significant other, okay? And this is just something I've noticed. Taurian people, earth signs in general, but especially Taurian people, you are a very sensual sign, and you need a lot of touching. You demonstrate, you demonstrate desire, you demonstrate sensuality through touch. And I feel like a lot of the times too, you might not demonstrate it in a very verbal way. And I feel like the challenge here, and which will really significantly help your relationship, is demonstrate it in a more verbal way. Telling your partner, I really appreciate what you did today, or I really appreciate you, cooking the breakfast or cooking dinner, and showing in ways that are not just practical and tangible, even though those are good things too, but showing it in a more, being more verbally demonstrative. So that could be, telling somebody, you look really beautiful today, or I really like what you did with this project. And I feel like that's going to open the doors not only to strengthen your relationships, it's going to strengthen your work environment too. I'm seeing this image of somebody going to work, putting their heads down, their head down, trying to get through the day, and there isn't enough like meaningful emotional exchange between you and the people around you. So that can be people in your environment. So aim for a lot more of those meaningful conversations to allow you to open up, and to allow you to get to know the people in your environment. Okay, and that also includes relationship partners as well. Because a lot of the times, you show that you care through tangible things, through tangible actions. But I feel like sometimes just sitting down, enjoying each other's company, and having a good conversation, that might be more meaningful to the person that you're interacting with, okay? So making time for the people that matter, having those, emotional conversations, and I feel like, insightful conversations. So this is a month for you to kind of sit back a little bit, take it easy, and for you to have these verbal exchanges, okay? And I feel like that's going to provide you a lot of insights. It's also going to allow you a new perspective, on how to proceed, okay? The last thing that I want to end up here is your financial situation. I feel like some of you are in a job, right, where I feel that it's like maxed out, it's capped out. There is an opportunity for growth. So by all means, you could be, doing like a regular manual labor job where you feel like no matter how long you stay at it, there isn't health insurance, there isn't like pension, there isn't retirement benefits, and so you're going through the motions and you're kind of maxed out. And then others could be at the very top of your career, and you might realize that, oh, I've been doing this for 30 years and I can't get promoted anymore. It's basically when you have pretty much maxed out, when you have pretty much learned everything there is to learn about a work environment, problems usually creep up, and it's a good sign for you to just accept the fact that, okay, I'm maxed out already in terms of my salary, so I need to seek another job, okay, another profession or another job. So I feel like that's what's happening here. You're sensing this restriction. You're sensing that a lot of things or a lot of changes are taking place. I'm kind of maxed out in my environment, so I need to seek something else. And I feel like in the past, you might have done that in the past, but you might not have had the success, the callbacks, the job interviews. And so it was discouraging. And so you don't want to go through that process again. So it's safer to stay in the current career track because, there is safety in the familiar. But I feel like whenever you did that, this is a different time frame now. So applying for a different work environment, getting yourself into a new environment, I feel that it's going to be good for you, okay? So if you're dealing with some stagnation in terms of income, in terms of not being able to move, like people blocking your transfers, or even not being able to gain any more traction, like hitting that ceiling, that salary cap, that it's almost as if there isn't room for career advancement. I feel that it's time for you guys to move, okay? Move out of your work environment, find something else where your skills can be properly utilized, where you are learning new skills or even learning the new protocol in a new work environment. I feel like that's what you need, okay? I was getting a very similar energy with Capricorns as well, and I mentioned to Capricorns, I feel like some of them are kind of like going through the motions where they feel like, oh, if only I had stayed in school to finish up my degree, then I wouldn't be stuck to this job. So I feel like the same energy is coming through here for you guys, where I feel like some of you are thinking about like, I can't get that job because I don't have the proper credentials. And so maybe going back to school would be a good idea. All right. So I'm going to go into your love reading. So the seventh house deals with relationships, and we have here the Seven of Pentacles. So let's just talk about, I'm going to pull out your spread here for love, romance, and relationships and see what messages are coming through. So I'm seeing major reassessment for you guys when it comes to a relationship that you're in. I feel that some of you might have, you might have, and it's funny that I'm seeing this, you might have, dated somebody, right? Like for 3 years. And then you figure out, okay, so the next step, we've been together for 3 years. And the next step is engagement. So you might have been engaged to them for another 3 years. And then after 3 years, you're like, okay, so the logical next step is marriage. So you wait and then you get married to them. And then you're like, okay, so the next step is to have children. So I feel like you have a timeline for when things are supposed to happen. And I feel like you're going through the motions, and you're just like, following along on this timeline that you set for yourself. And keep in mind that, when we're dealing with different people, the time is all relative, right? Like the timeline might be applicable to some situations, but not others, because you're dealing with separate people, different energies, different intentions. So I feel like some of you are just going through the motions and you're kind of like waking up this month. And you're just like, is this something that's still logical? Is this still right for me? Am I supposed to marry this person? So you might have been with somebody for a really long time and you have gone through, the milestones, dating, engagement, moving in together, for example. And now you're reassessing whether or not it's wise for you to continue dating them, whether or not you are compatible. I feel like you are very compatible with somebody that you're in a relationship with, but whether or not they are the best option for you, I feel like there's some cold feet here. There's some reassessment in this situation, okay? And then others of you just trying to reassess whether or not somebody you've recently dated is stable enough to be a relationship partner for you long term. And I'm also sensing for some of you, you have somebody that you like, but your career path, your financial situation is not stable enough right now for you to give them anything more than what you're giving them. So I feel like if you want to be with them, it requires, it requires a lot more work, a lot more effort on your end, and you're not sure that you want to invest anymore. So it's not because of the person. It's more because like being with that person is uprooting everything that you have so far, all the stability, all the things that you've been doing so far. It's going to change everything. So you're kind of like thinking whether or not you want to do that. Okay. Across the board, it's a really good time for singles. Singles are having a really, really good month overall this month. So I feel that singles for Taurus is no exception either. So let me just go into the reading here, and I'm going to talk about the singles first. Okay, so singles, those of you who are newly singles, I feel like some of you are getting like solicitations from other people. Okay, we have here the Page of Cups. This is an offer for dating, an offer for friendship, an offer to get to know each other a little bit more. So I feel that you are being solicited here from somebody who is potentially a water sign, so a Pisces, a Cancer, or a Scorpio. And I feel like you're not dating this person exclusively. You're just, like getting to know them. And there's like light social dating. And I feel like you're finding out some information about them, either through social media or through just them telling you the information that they might have a little bit of like emotional baggage from their past, or they're not over their ex, or there might be, they might be reconnecting with their ex that you're finding out about. And so I feel that you're going to be sweeping away that option, okay? And so you're moving on from this, and I feel that some of you who are newly single, there is going to be another person coming into the picture here. We have an air sign, so an Aquarius, a Gemini, or a Libra. And this air sign, I feel almost like you want to be a little bit careful because what you see is not what you get. Okay, the air sign is shown up here as the Knight of Swords in the reverse. And this is somebody that is kind of like misrepresenting themselves. They might exaggerate. They might, emphasize all of their good traits, and they might leave some things out. So they might be lying by omission here, and you want to be a little bit careful. So I feel like you're dealing with somebody like this, and all the pieces, all the stories do not add up, and I feel like you have suspicions. And so just be a little bit careful, okay? So I feel like a water sign, something happened here where you might not. I feel like they have some things from their past that they're dealing with, and so you're not trying to get involved in that. And then you're moving on, and you encounter another obstacle here, which is another person who has the same MO, like the same pattern. And so you're just like, okay, these options are not viable. So I do see a lot of reassessment happening here. And I also feel if you were to, scrap away these two people, we do have new people coming through, and we have the Sun as well as the Two of Swords. The Two of Swords is sort of like, third time's the charm, I feel, and it feels to me as if you might have a fire sign, so a Sagittarius, an Aries, or a Leo coming into the picture. And either way, if it's not a fire sign, I feel it is somebody that is a lot more directed about what they want. So there isn't, the gray areas with this person. This person, once they're done with the past. So they move forward. So you don't have somebody with emotional baggage. You have somebody that is more ready and willing to give their love. Okay, so if you have had those two setbacks, those two relationship partners, or potential relationship partners that didn't pan out, don't give up. Keep waiting around, because I feel like there is another person coming through, especially for those who are single. Okay, and then for others of you, those in a relationship, finances is really affecting your relationship. So we have here the Ace of Pentacles as well as the Seven of Wands. The Ace of Pentacles is a situation where we're kind of like given a relationship, and both parties need to chip in order to, nurture the relationship, in order to make things grow. And with the Ace of Coins in the reverse, it seems to me as if one person is doing the work, and then the other person, whatever it is, I feel like one person is maintaining the relationship, and the other person might be dealing with a lot of just difficulties in their own lives, where they're not able to be emotionally or physically present to nurture the relationship. So it might not be anything that they're doing wrong. It's just circumstances is affecting your relationship. They might be going through financial difficulties, or you yourself might be going through financial difficulties. And so being emotionally present in this relationship is proving to be difficult. And I feel as well, I'm sensing as well that if that's the case, you're trying to find a solution. You're trying to find ways to, move the situation along and alleviate. I feel a lot of problem solving coming in for you guys this month. So you might be trying to find ways to help your relationship partner navigate the difficulties that are happening in their lives, okay? I'm seeing like family issues as well affecting one partner, and you might be the one that needs to offer a lot of emotional support and figuring out how to help your relationship partner move on ahead with this very difficult patch in their lives. So I do see family issues, I do see career issues affecting the relationship partner, but overall joint finances, I feel like it's a little bit unstable right now, and you're trying to find solutions to resolve it. So this is a really good energy. It indicates like one person serving as the pillar of strength for another person. So that's really good, okay? And then others of you, this is problematic here. We have here the Queen of Coins as well as the Tower. I feel like there might have been some recent loss of a job between you or a relationship partner, and I feel like it is affecting the relationship financially. Financial considerations are coming through and becoming like obstacles in this relationship. So you might have, saved up for a house, and you might have been like, okay, in about 8 months' time, we should have enough money for a down payment on a house, and then something unexpected happens, which is a major setback. And I feel like this is not minor. This is a very, very big, major setback for you and your partner in terms of, trying to get a house, trying to get a property, trying to move out and live in a place that can make you comfortable as a couple, okay? So I'm seeing major setbacks. I'm feeling almost as if there might have been a death in the family in the past. So this is, from your end or from your partner's end, that is really affecting the emotional state for either of you, okay? Like for both of you, but I feel like for more from one partner than the other. And crowning this reading, if you are in a relationship with an air sign, so we have here an Aquarius, a Gemini, or a Libra, it's linked up here with the Seven of Swords, and the Seven of Swords indicates deception. It indicates things that someone is not honest about, okay? And I feel like if you are in a relationship here with this air sign, it's on its way out. because I don't feel like, you have already been reassessing whether or not this person is good for you. So if these truths, these snippets of informations are coming through, you might realize that it's not the right person for you. Okay. Um, if you are in a relationship with an air sign, so that's Sun, Moon, or Rising, Aquarius, Gemini, and Libra. I feel like there's some major news that they're bringing to the table. Some major, 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 major news. And I do feel like it's work related for them. They might be moving, they might be living at a distance, or they might be communicating with you from a distance. But there's going to be some information coming to light, and I feel that you're going to look at this person differently. So I do feel like a lot of work, career, status, situation affecting your relationships overall. And so just be a little bit careful, okay? Going back to what I mentioned earlier, because I feel like some of you are in a relationship that is very stable, but I just feel like it's lacking in love, it's lacking in passion, and it's lacking in chemistry. There seems to be a lot of success as a couple, but whether or not you are still emotionally invested in each other, I feel like that's another story, okay? So be careful with this energy, all right? So Taurus, I do wish you the best for this month. Cheer up, okay? Get through the month with your work situation and also the love relationship situation, okay? I do wish you the best, however. If you'd like to book a private reading with me, visit my website. The information is in the description box below. If you also like to donate to my channel, if the video has been helpful, I would greatly appreciate it. The link to the donation link is also in the description box below, okay? I'll be back for the mid-month reading, and hopefully this energy will clear up by then. I do wish you all the best. Take care. Bye-bye.